Hi from Finisterre. As you can see, I've actually finished the walk, but the video is not that short. I'm happy I'm here, but I just wanted to provide some context to this vlog that I put together on the Via de la Plata. I do mention this in one of my early captures, but the whole background for doing this walk and the rationale behind doing this walk was actually generated during the COVID lockdowns, where I would exercise, but at the same time I would watch vlogs that other walkers had done on the Camino, and when I was exercising I could almost feel myself in their shoes, and I could almost relive the Camino experience just through their vlogs, and I was very inspired by that. So when the restrictions finally started to ease, I made a decision to do another walk in Spain. Having done the Camino Frances, Camino Portuguese, I decided to walk the Via de la Plata, a different route, a slightly longer route, and hence this vlog has emerged. I really want this video to be viewed by people who are either wanting to do this walk, or those who, for time restrictions, who have time restrictions and who are unable to do this walk of this distance, and then also for those who, for whatever reason, just are unable to do a walk like this. So I hope you'll enjoy this set of videos. I haven't actually put them together yet, but there is a lot of footage. Apologies in advance. I found that when I was walking I was speaking gibberish sometimes, and even my grammar was suffering. The reason for that is simply that I'm trying to watch where I walk, I'm trying to not trip up, I'm trying to hold the camera steady, as well as also think of things to say as well, and sometimes it doesn't come out that well, so apologies in advance for that. Is there anything else I wanted to cover off now? No. So look, let me take you back in time. Today is the well, I actually finished my walk yesterday, which was the 23rd of October, but I'm going to take you back now in time to the 14th of September. It's morning, it's the dark of morning in Seville, and I'm just heading out from my hotel. I hope you enjoy my vlog. Oh, that's interesting. I've just got the whole group out of bed this morning. It's 7:15 in the morning. So I came down and all the doors were locked. But anyway, so look, I'm on the way to the cathedral and then out. But it's amazing. It is dark here still. So there won't be too many early mornings, I don't suspect. It's just the cleaners working and things of that nature. But I'm just quite amazed it's so dark. During the shutdown, the COVID shutdowns, I used to love watching other vloggers who did similar sort of trips, and watch their Camino activities. And when I was working or doing exercise in the gym, I could watch these people and actually relive their trips with them. So in a way, this is I'm giving back, I think, a little bit, hopefully, to those who are unable to do these sorts of walks, or just don't have the time available to do these types of walks. This particular walk is called the Via de la Plata. It starts in Seville, though it can start even further south in Spain, right on the coast in Cadiz, and then essentially heads north. So we're heading north, and then at the end we're picking up one route. There's a couple of options, one that joins up with the Camino Frances, the other one that joins up with Camino Portuguese, and this other one's called the Camino Sanabrés. So that will essentially take me then northwest to Santiago de Compostella, where generally these walks end, and from there you can actually walk further on to the coast. Whether I have enough time in this case, I'm not sure. This is a slightly longer walk than Camino Francis. I'm doing this one on my own to go outside my comfort zone. I'm very interested to see how it all turns out. Let's hope the weather doesn't get too hot. It's been mildish for Seville at the moment. I think they're forecasting sort of high 20s today, which is not too bad. But I think there are going to be some lonelier times and whatever, so I'm just hopeful that those watching the video can essentially do the walk with me if you wish. I'll film sections of the path and the route as we go through for the next 40 days, give or take a few days, depends on how many legs I decide to do. But anyway, coming out of the cities generally isn't the finest walking. It's probably not the prettiest, like all cities, right? You know, you've got your outer zone, your industrial areas and the like, so I'm not expecting any miracles sort of there to happen today. I didn't want to leave the walk too late because it starts to get a bit colder as we get up into Galicia toward the end of the walk. But then again, you want to go too early because it's too hot. I'm already carrying about 4 litres of water today. While it doesn't sound like a lot, it just adds weight in the backpack and things that I would ultimately like to avoid. So this is, as I say, a bit of a departure to my previous videos. But essentially I'm just too lazy to create another YouTube channel. So anyway, look, I hope you can join me on this trip, and I hope you'll enjoy it with me. Bye. The old town in Seville is quite beautiful. So for those who have been here or planning to come here, yeah, there's within walking distance, it's a fantastic city to walk in. There are fantastic sights, and there's a car coming my way already. I think that's... There you go, just almost got run over on my first day. Yeah, lovely cobblestone cities you can walk through, lovely parks, obviously buildings of religious significance, and architecture's dating back hundreds of years. You can see just on that building there on the corner, there's some of the markers we've got to follow. So that'll be my biggest risk, just failing to see that. I don't know whether you can see that, but it says Via de la Plata next to that light. Just heading across the river now, as you can probably see there, from the older part of town. And yeah, we have to know that I've already managed to lose the route. I'm on it again, which is fine, but it's very easy to do when it's a bit darker outside. Anyway, so things are going well. It's somewhat rather peaceful and pleasant here. Just take another shot down that river. Sort of beautiful with the lights, isn't it? You can see the top of the cathedral there just in the distance. Okay. Well, we're out of Seville now, and look, surprisingly it actually was fairly quick. It only took just over an hour, and we've got a path here that's parallel to the river. So it's all clear walking. There's someone up ahead, but I don't think they're a peregrino. And as you can see, it's actually not bad weather for walking. It is. It's not raining. It's a little humid, but temperature would be low 20s. So I'm sort of very fortunate because this could get quite weather beaten on a hot day, I would suggest. Though look, there's no doubt going to be plenty of those ahead anyway. Just leaving Santa Ponce. Bit of road walking here. It's just unavoidable, obviously, because as Spain developed, they built roads for cars on roads where people used animals or walked previously. So it's just part of the walking experience, the Camino experience. You can see the sun is starting to break through there. Saint Ponce, nice little village, plenty of bars there and places to stop, a few supermarkets and the like. So nice comfortable rest after the first 12 or so k's. Another update on this lovely straight road. It's actually very pleasant walking. It's literally seem to have it all to myself, which is nice. Though I have seen back in town there were I think 2 or possibly 3 other walkers that came through, but I stopped and had a snack and something to drink, so they've probably moved on. But yeah, it's a lovely breeze. Perfect temperature, probably 24, a little bit of humidity in the air, and you can see the track is nice, and it's quiet here, away from the road. Absolutely beautiful. I'll just stop for a tick. If I just pan over there, you might see just in the distance some little white buildings. I trust that's a church standing up. I had a look at the map before, not sure, but I think it could be where we're headed. If not, so be it. But you can see, just probably hard to see on the camera there, but just on the horizon there, just a littering of little villages out in the distance. It's good to see. Look, the Spanish in general have been pretty quick or progressive in adopting renewable energy, so this is not exactly a huge placement of panels on that rise over in the distance there, but it does spread off toward the left. Nice to see, and the panels are in sun at the moment. Isn't that nice? There's a village up ahead there, and as luck would have it, no, it wasn't that one I saw earlier. But we might still end up over there, because I think this path does at some stage veer off to the right. Well, just now relaxing in town in Guillena. In terms of the day's walk, it's quite a pleasant walk. It's an easy path to get out of Seville. There are 2 routes you can take. One follows the river, and there's another one that follows the road. The river does pass through some sort of dilapidated, empty industrial estates that, look, I suspect are frequented by homeless and the like. It could be a little confronting, but I didn't see anybody. But look, that's only for a short period, maybe 20 minutes or so, and then basically you're in the open there. And some of the walking today, I just really enjoyed them. The quality of the roads were good. It's very quiet. I still only have seen 3 other walkers today, which is nice. In Guillena, it's a lovely little town to stop. It's got all the facilities here. We've even got supermarkets that are open during siesta time, which is handy. No, look, this is lovely. So all in all, yeah, just a good first day. Tomorrow, I think the trip's a bit shorter. I think it was about 23 kilometres today or something. Tomorrow, we're down to, I think, about 18 or so. A place called Castilblanco, I think. So I'll be in touch then, and we'll see how we go. Good morning. Welcome to my second day on the walk, but I probably won't count these things because I'll probably end up forgetting where I am. But nice evening in Guillena with a pleasant evening meal. still somewhat caught up in Australian time, so I'm getting up quite early here. But yeah, a lovely morning in just outside of Guillena here. In fact, we're off the main road at the moment and just in the fields, as you can see behind me. There's a chap with a tractor out there. But it looks to be, it's going to be a clear day today, which looks nice. They're forecasting some rain for later on today. But as I said yesterday, this will be a shorter day. It's only, I think, around 18 k's, just a bit over 18 k's. So nice and easy. And I think we might have some longer days coming up. But yeah, so far so good. Really not much else to report, but just enjoying it. And again, I'll flip this around in a tick and you'll be able to see the trail up ahead. Thank goodness there's fences here. I sure as hell don't want one of those dogs attaching themselves to my ankle. They're probably very friendly though. Have seen a couple of galgos in Spain. Galgos are like they're a form of greyhound, or they look like a greyhound, but they're somewhat quite heat tolerant. They can perform well in very warm weather. They look a bit lighter than a greyhound, and they seem to have a longer tail. I've got an interest in that because we have a greyhound at home. So yeah, I might see a couple of the galgos on the walk as well. But yeah, this is very easy walking on a quite a good path here. This is a bit more like it. I've just sort of been through some industrial estates again on the outside, out on the outskirts of Guillena, but now we're walking back through essentially open fields and farming land. I think there's some sort of citrus tree getting in there, but probably the sun's destroying that shot, so that's no good. I mentioned before that this is a relatively short day, right? 18 k's. It's not a bad thing actually, particularly as when you get into these things, when you start the Camino walks or these walks, it's nice to maybe take it easy for the first couple of days till your body acclimatises, gets used to the backpack weight. Even though you might have been training before you go on such an event, it's good not to push yourself too hard for the first few days. Camino Francis has obviously that crossing over the Pyrenees on the first days if you're travelling through to Seville, and yeah, your body's going to be working pretty hard for a lot of that day, and that can repeat on you for days to come after that. Whereas if you can, and look, I mean that's just how it is. There's not much you can do about that, but you just have to take it easy on for those particular crossings. And for other walks, if you have, like this one, if they're relatively short to start with, it's nice. You get into the swing of things, your feet, your backpack, getting yourself organised. It's not a bad thing. So I'm enjoying this actually. This is nice here. Very, very pleasant walking through here with all my friends. There is no one behind me, and I think there are two peregrinos up front. Still making our way along this path. There's been a progressive incline over the last 15-20 minutes. Nothing harsh at all, but In fact, so we'll see, but I think we're nearing the top. Whatever, you can see the path in the private property next door is actually better quality, better quality than the walking path here. Anyway, as he steps across and catches his breath, so yeah, still lovely walking, peaceful, quiet, and quite beautiful. Reminds me a bit of Western Victoria in Australia, except our soil is probably redder than this up there. But yeah, very nice walking this. It's a magnificent sight to behold. It's like a fortified house. Don't know whether it's super old, but just a lovely surprise out here. It's opening up a bit at the top of this rise. But yeah, just very pleasant to have that come into view there. Just seems like a very picturesque opportunity to film this. Another transition here. We've come from the fields into what appears to be private parkland now, or sorry, perhaps government-owned parkland. This is lovely. Some cycad-looking palms there. Just some more footage here of the walk through this parkland. Yeah, just wonderful. I've actually, the first time, brought out my poles, my friends. I do have to admit I love pole walking. Obviously I can't pole walk and hold the phone at the same time. I need a third arm, but I just love the stability they give you and the extra power up hills, and some knee protection down hills, and in general it gives your arms something to do as well while you're walking, so it keeps that blood flowing through your arms. So I'm a huge advocate. I only use walking shoes. I don't use boots. I can't. Boots don't suit my ankles, so I use walking shoes, and whether or not it's the case, the poles are sort of like an excuse for that additional stability that perhaps the boot offers that I don't get through the shoes. So that's the trade-off. I wear the shoes, which I think are wonderful and light, but I use the poles just to provide a little bit of extra stability in those cases. We've got some lovely road here to bring us into Castilblanco. I think it's about 4 k's or so from here. This is very nice walking as well. There you go, Camino de Santiago via de la Plata. Sort of like a very tired looking signpost, but I think it's made of granite. It'll be there for many years. You can see just up ahead here, back into town, just along the road now, the actual made road. But looks like our path is off the road, which is nice. There Well, we're here. Welcome to Castilblanco. Specifically, what is it? Castilblanco de los Arroyos. That was a pleasant walk. Actually, the walk along the road wasn't too bad. They've got a separate path for walkers, which is good. Get you off that road, which is quite a busy road actually into town. So there you can see Guillena, 17.3 kilometres. And we'll just have to find our way. Well, greetings. This is a shot from my palatial hotel room in Castilblanco. In fact, this is called Hotel Castillo Blanco, so hence the confusion earlier. You can see in the distance there's a pool, which I did inquire about, but apparently it's green at the moment, which means that it's not suitable for swimming. So while it looks fantastic, look, to be honest, it's I couldn't have done it anyway because I didn't bring a bathing costume on the trip to save weight. A pair of budgie smugglers would have just probably put me over the limit. So that's the end of that. But it's a nice hotel. However, if I just move this way, you'll see right next door there's an agricultural processing plant that's grinding away there. Anyway, look. Good morning. It's just turned 7:30. It's going to be a very clear morning. It's just wonderful walking just now. I think sunrise is probably not for another 40 minutes or so, but there'll be enough light to walk with. Just walking down into the centre of Castilblanco and then off to Almaden. Good night's sleep though. I am still getting up early. My clock's all out here, but I tend to get up at about 5:30, whether that's because I'm still jet lagged or whatever. And by about 7 p.m. at night, I've got to keep my eyelids open with toothpicks just to avoid falling asleep. I don't wish to sleep in the afternoon, after the walk. That would just make things worse. So look, hopefully over time my clock will shift out, hopefully 10-15 minutes each day, and we'll be fine. Yeah, so nice and quiet, and overall a good evening. Okay, I'll speak to you on the walk soon. Okay, we're on our road that'll carry us for the next, I think, about 15 k's from the books. Fortunately, there's a car coming. The traffic's on the other side of the road, so it could be just sheer luck. But look, you can see there's a verge here off to the left, so it's relatively safe. And just panning across that wonderful sunrise that we'll walk through this morning. So, oh well, it's not bad. Look, I actually, at least road walking, you can't hurt your ankles as much and whatever. There's less chance of doing damage there, but it can be a bit hard on the body after a while. Anyway, cheers. Well, that's where we're headed in the distance here, just rolling hills, mountains, heading out a long way from where I am currently. I do love these walls here, these stone walls here on the left. Just beautiful. Progressing out. Just the sun picking up very shortly. Just talking more about road walking. It just came to me then. There's been obviously a lot of farms off on the side of the road here, all sorts of animals from pigs and goats and sheep to geese. You might hear them in the background, chickens. One positive about road walking is that you don't have to always look at where your feet are landing. So you can take in the surroundings a little more easily and confidently, and be looking out to the side more often, whereas obviously on a rocky path you need to be very cautious about where you're stepping and careful so you don't go over or trip. Just a view into the valleys there. Eventually this road, you can continue and take this road all the way to Almaden if you wish, but there is a track that pulls off to the right further up. I don't know whether you can see, just essentially directly on from the bend in the road here, you see the road there still progressing through into the hills there. So anyway, it's quite nice and true to form. They said it wasn't busy, and sure enough they were right. It actually seems very quiet, which is lovely. Just lovely with the sun over the hills there. Actually, I'm not sure, but I think, and I'm no arborologist, but I think these are cork trees. Spain seems to have a lot of cork trees. Yeah, they're lovely. Got a lot of character to them. A little gnarly, a little tired, but tranquil and content. So I don't know whether these ones on the road, just off on the road, are also the same variety. I assume so, but anyway, suffice to say that's very nice. Just cutting our way through these valleys and peaks here. It's lovely. There's our Camino arrow, so we're on the right road, which is nice. The sun's a little taller now. You can just see my shadow there. Very nice. Just had a bike rider roar past me down this hill here, almost like thundering. He was really flying, so obviously rushing home to go to work, no doubt. Yeah, just more meandering hills, very much the same, and fortunately pretty quiet. I had a break back there 2 hours in. There was a like a crossing there where I could sit down, which was very nice. Just had a bit of a drink and a bit of bite to eat. Well, after steady climbing probably for the last almost an hour, 40, or at least 50 minutes, we've been walking along. I've been walking along a plateau here probably for about 20 minutes now, and it looks like it's leveling off and coming down. The upside is obviously hard work up the hills, but the upside is there's a breeze up here that we're picking up now, which is very pleasant. I can see one walker in front there, and it won't be long before we pull off to the right. I think we're just reaching our turn-off point here, where we're going into this reserve. So we leave our beloved road, cross carefully, and then we'll be off again. I'm not sure, but I think I was right. That looks to be the bark of these trees that are everywhere in this park. I'm not sure, I think that's cork. Maybe I am an arborologist after all. Now let's just have a look at those. Let's just have a look at that. Yeah, that's cork. That's very light. That's amazing. So, yeah, this is well, this is a house. So this is a reserve, but there are properties in here as well, as you can see. But the rest of it is treed beautifully. Lots of cork trees up above there, and the walking path is excellent. I was about to say no cars, but that's wrong, because there's about 3 or 4 cars have been past me already in here, in the reserve, but which is gated too, so they've got to obviously have certain access to and from. But yeah, anyway, so cork trees, so they debark them or something. I don't know whether that kills the tree or not, but they debark them and dry them and stick them in wine bottles. It's a little more typical of the terrain here. We're heading down at the moment, but yeah, lovely rolling hills in the distance and cork trees. Still assume there are cork trees everywhere. So it's quite a vista for a walk, isn't it? It's quite beautiful. I do enjoy the tranquility of a picnic lunch, and in this reserve it's just beautiful here. It's silent, and I'm surrounded by the tranquility of birds and insects and overhead jet aircraft. They're the only things I can hear. It's lovely. Seen a couple of walkers today. I'm not sure what the number would be, but I think there's probably in the order of about 10 to 20 in this batch, obviously, that would have left Seville at that time. So, and as usual, distributed from all over the world, but primarily the ones I've seen here are from Europe. In any case, so yeah, this is hard to take. We've got about 10 k's into town, so there's no real rush, and the weather's nice at this point in time, so I just thought I'd have my picnic lunch here, and then I'll push on soon, but I'll start using the poles this afternoon, because I think there's some climbs on these unmade paths ahead. Just back on the trail after lunch, and very pleasant. I must admit, I do like the colour. I don't know what's coming through, but the colour of the cork trees, once they've had the dark outer layer removed, let's get this iridescent red glow, sort of like the soil colour we get in inland Australia. It's almost like the colour of Uluru. You see that? It's a magnificent colour. It's dark red, almost sort of veering on orange even. I'll do some research tonight, because I'm not going to sleep over this, but just to find out how long it takes for the trees to regrow their bark after they've been essentially ring-barked or debarked. They only bark to a certain level, or debark to a certain level, that one there. the rest of it, the upper layers of the trees all covered in bark. So I'm sure they know what they're doing. They've probably been doing it for a couple of years now. Any case, so you can see there's a bit of sun hitting the hills right there in the distance. But yeah, at the moment I have this all to myself. It's quite a prize. This site here will be very familiar to Australians. These trees are eucalypts. So we've come out, there's still cork trees around, but sort of cork plantation's finished. And now we're in some sort of gully here. The road's made through here because this is a floodway. You can see water's heading down there, but yeah, we're seeing some of the eucalypts, which obviously were introduced into Spain some time back, and they grow like wildfire here, and spread like wildfire. So yeah, a bit of home even here in the south of Spain. Just opening up onto the plains here. It's interesting. It feels very Australian here actually, but just the way these rolling hills, some of the buildings there, obviously the eucalypts. Look at that. I don't really have it all to myself though. There are two walkers in front, but we're sort of keeping the same sort of pace. So. Which is nice, which is very nice. So yeah, I'm really enjoying today. This is very good. Looks like we're heading off to the left here. Just further progressing through the park. There's some sort of pine that they're growing here. I imagine it gets fairly harsh, so they're obviously fairly tough trees. What a magnificent sky there. I think the girl in front is singing to herself. This is these are the things you do when you walk by yourself for a day. Good on her. You've got a good voice too, I might say. So we've come out of the park now, or the reserve as they call it, and heading to Almaden. Maybe a couple of kilometres or whatever, but this path is also magnificent. Look, great quality walking. Well, this is a lovely way to finish a day's walk. A fairly aggressive incline here. I won't show, but just, I mean, it's quite moving. Off to the right here, there's a memorial to a pilgrim who, for whatever reason, didn't make it up the hill. So, gee, that's a fairly aggressive slope there. Heads up there. Look, it looks flat, I think, on the phone, but not from where I'm standing. Maybe that's more realistic there. Anyway, look, you got to get there, and that's all there is to it. Just take it slowly, I suppose. Look, hills are sometimes a little tough on the body, but look at the vista. That is magnificent. You might see the trail on the way, and there's two walkers down there in the valley below, so that's where we've been. And a few minutes later we can be right up here Yeah, just superb. Well, we've made it here, and they've actually got a viewing platform up here. So, look, yeah, hill's a bit of a grind, but the views are just. And what's interesting? Oh no, we had that climb before we got into the parkland. So this is like a plateau here almost. We climbed up to that on the road, the made road this morning. Then we've sort of walked through the park. Yeah, hills up and down. And then we've climbed out here to this vista at the top here. Oh well, greetings from Almaden. It's now 2 o'clock, and I think I left this morning at about 7:30, but with some good breaks there during the walk. If it's of any consequence, I think I just got ripped off for for a drink at the local supermarket here. But look, you know, who cares? A great day's walk. Road walking can be very unpleasant, but that road was empty. It had basically forest on or grazing land on either side. It was very picturesque, and that was probably 60% of today's walk. And then the walk through the reserve was magnificent. Nice, easy, plenty of places to stop if you need to have a lunch there, which I did. And then obviously that final climb over this last rise into town and then down into Almaden. But still not too bad, just take it easy and you'll be fine. So again, a really enjoyable day's walk, fantastic vistas, beautiful scenery. The weather still holds up very nicely as well. Okay, cheers. Well, good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock. You'd be happy to know I seem to be getting up even earlier now. So it seems to be going backwards. I'll be getting up at 3 a.m. soon. Off to Monestario today from Almaden. There is one town in the middle, so there will be an opportunity for a break there. But it is a longer day's walk. It's going to get a bit dark here in a moment. I think just over 33 kilometres, so a few more up from yesterday, but and I think also the weather this afternoon is going to be quite warm, so I think getting up high 20s, maybe even 30s, so hence the slightly earlier start. And you can see it's obviously dark and will be for at least the next half an hour or so. But looking forward to today's walk. All the best. Okay, we've got some daylight now, which is nice. I don't really like walking in the dark. There's not a lot to be gained. The sunset is, the sunrise can be quite pretty, and I've taken some photos there. But yeah, just walking with the torch on and plodding on, not particularly enjoyable. So we're just off on a unmade access road now. We've just passed through some farmers' properties to get here, and approached the farmers had their dogs out, which is a bit confronting. Some of those dogs were quite large. Seemed friendly. A little bit of barking here and there, but between you and me, I sure as hell don't want to get a case of rabies out here. So anyway, so plodding along now. I suppose the night walking is just part of the price you pay for longer days, and trying to avoid that very hot, or that hotter part of the day, which here seems to come because of the way the Spanish time zones are, and I'll talk about this at a different time, but it seems to be around about from 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock onwards. So I'm trying to get as much distance as I can in before it gets too warm. Back amongst cork trees again. So because of my obsession with cork trees, I did some research last night, and I'll also give you an update on that later. But at this stage, you can see it's actually very pleasant walking. It's as usual, a bit tougher earlier on today, narrower tracks and ups and downs, but only for a relatively short period of time. Just in a national park or another one of these reserves. Yeah, look pretty hilly and tough going in places here. The quality of the path is not bad, but yeah, lots of undulating hills, and that can unfortunately wear you down pretty quickly. So got to keep drinking. And the packs are obviously heavy at this time of day because you've got all your water. As we climb another ascent here. Anyway, it's still very pretty though. Look at that. Pretty much got it all to myself too, which is lovely. Well, I'd rather be eating chocolate. That was some pass that we just went over then. I am drenched, and it's not warm yet, but yeah, some fairly steep going there. But it looks like the downhill stretch is nice, and the paths are good quality here. Some spectacular vistas from up here though, through the trees. We seem to be walking along sort of like the crest, another one of these mountainous ranges, but we're on the crest here and simply on some sort of plateau that we've walked up to. So very nice indeed. Okay, back on some relatively flat surface now. Just show you behind me there. So much faster and easier going now. You can see there to my left, and obviously with my newly acquired obsession for cork trees, I did some research last night. They fall within the oak tree family, which sounds about right to me. They look very oak tree-like in a way, but just have, well, in terms of the oak trees we have at home, have a much finer leaf, but that could also be due to the fact that the conditions here are extremely harsh, I think, sometimes with very low rainfall. They live for about 150 years, and after they're planted, after about 15 to 20 years, they can first be harvested. And as we saw yesterday, the people that harvest the trees are not called barkers or ring barkers, they're called strippers. So it said that an experienced stripper can take the bark off from the lower levels, and then that bark is left out, I think, for about 6 months or so to dry out fully before that cork can be used. Well, go figure, there's someone out in the middle of nowhere here. So yeah, so that's the story. Oh yes, and after about another 10 or 12 years, when the bark grows back, the tree can be debarked again or stripped, and that can continue for the life of the tree. It's set up to about 150 years, so magnificent. Well, in a way, it's very green, I suppose, assuming the world demand for cork is what it used to be. I think these days they use a lot of plastics and whatever in corking, but just in the distance there you'll see on that hill there a massive rural casa. It's beautiful, beautifully presented, set in obviously these lovely grounds with cork/oak trees. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely striking, isn't it? You can see it through the distance there. There's another look just between the trees there. Magnificent. Just coming into El Real de Jara, or Yara, that would be here, I think. It's the well, it's the only town between us and Monestario today, so stop here for another short break. You can see up on the mountain ahead or remains of a castle, fortified building there, but yeah, lovely little village just nestled into the valley here. The walk on the road is obviously has been a lot easier than that earlier past we went over. But yeah, feeling okay. What's the time now? It's just 10:15. But yeah, I just love these white painted villages. They're just so well kept, and residents, it just feels to me like the residents are very proud of what they have here, which is wonderful, right? And so they should be, because they're very, very pretty. Just heading out of Real de Jara. Yeah, it's very empty now. I think there's about another 20 k's to go. So yeah, that was the initial grind was fairly steep, but the rest of it was okay. And this path so far is fine. I think there is a climb to Monestario. I think I can't remember on the sign back there. I think it might be about. Yeah, I can't remember what the elevation is, so I won't call it out. But anyway, it is what it is. You can see the weather's magnificent. Those blue skies are rich in colour against the surrounding countryside here, and the blues and the greens of the trees, the blues of the sky. Just pan over there. Back into town too. And there's our fortification up on the hill there. Now that is a castle. Goodness me, just to think of the history there and the years that that's seen. So yeah, that's just adjacent to this road that we're on, or the path that we're walking here. Castillo de las Torres, I think it's called. a little overgrown, but just still so striking. There's that path there. Some extremely healthy looking bulls in that paddock there. Wonderful colourings. This one's here is taking a bit of an interest to me. Fortunately, he's on the other side of the fence. Just back to the peacefulness of the track here. I've only seen one car that just overtook me, so it's great walking here. In a way, I sort of like the way they do the grazing lands here. They've left the trees in. Sometimes they do a bit too much clearing at home. It looks far prettier when it's like this. I think those mountains in the distance are the ones that we have to cross. Well, not cross, actually the ones we've got to assail to get to Monestario. I think it's up on one of those plateaus ahead. The good news is they're getting closer. Well, this is fantastic. I'm sitting here with all my friends and having just sort of like a picnic lunch. Today it's baby bell cheese, sardines, nuts and some fruit. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And it is, yeah, it's just lovely here. It's quiet. Cork trees in the background. And the temperature is just lovely actually. It's would this be about 24? I mean, it will get higher, but 24 with a light breeze, it's just magnifique. So just sort of have a break here. There is another gazetted stop, I think probably in about an hour and a half from here as well. So in the form of a petrol station of all things, but yeah, I might just stop there, get a drink and then push on, but no, going well so far. Just yeah, very nice. I do love picnics. Greetings back again. No sooner than I talk about obviously their farming practices of leaving trees on blocks of land and whatever to accompany the grazing animals. We've come out into this sort of very cleared valley now. They look like they are replanting some trees, particularly on these hills here. I'll flip the camera around in a sec. So there you can see up there on the upper hills. But gee, they must have done a lot of clearing here. And this is the path ahead, so you can see that entire valley is, yeah, it's very different from what we've come through. This is now basically just fairly cleared land with occasional trees. Just a shot from the trail again. Going well. A few cows there spotting themselves from flies. And when these bushes on the side of the road here clear, you'll see we are getting closer to those hills there. Yeah, not too far. We'll be at the foot of those hills probably in about 5 minutes, I would say. It's a chorus of cowbells. Very nice. Well, welcome to the life of a pilgrim. I'm here in it looks like a fairly major road interchange. Sitting at a petrol station on the ground because there's no chairs here. But at least there's shade. I've got the company of a garbage bin next to me. And trucks and other drivers and tourists and whatever. The path to Monestario is sort of out this way toward that green tank on the other side there. I think it's about 8 k's. Seems to sort of not add up, you know, with the 33k day, but anyway, it is what it is. I think it's uphill a lot of the way. So I'll get that garbage bin out of the photo there, of the frame. So it's uphill a lot of the way, so I'm really looking forward to that. And obviously getting to the hottest part of the day, so it should be great fun. Anyway, look, it's not too bad. There are other punters who have come through here, no doubt, and walked in like 30. Well, I think it's going to get up to about 30 today, but not yet. I think it's about 27, 28. But some punters probably walked 30, 35 degree, 40 degree days who have done this walk here, and that would be terrible. Anyway, look, I've just updated the water in my bladder. Bladder in the backpack, not my bladder, but the drinking bladder. And I've got plenty of water to get there. I've just grabbed a drink here at the shop, yeah, I'll head off soon. But it was nice to have that bit of a break. It's now 1:30, so geez, I'll be pulling in, I think, give or take, you know, around 3:15, 3:30. Depending on what those hills are like. Okay, ciao. Just negotiated that massive interchange traffic or road interchange back there. Actually, they've done it really well. It's not too bad at all. And now we're essentially running parallel with the road to Monestario through this lovely Australian bush here, full of eucalypts. So path is really nice. I like these sort of paths. So you will be on this for the next 2 hours, I think. Well, the path sure beats walking on the road anyway. I said earlier that I thought this is going to be a bit of a grind with the walk up to Monestario, and no doubt, look, there's some hills ahead, but this particular track here that's siding the road, which is full of scampering lizards, is just magnificent. The quality of the path is first rate. I'm walking in semi-shade because we're up in the hills a little bit. There's a beautiful breeze, and as I said before, there's a lot of eucalypts here. This smells just like I'm walking in the Australian bush here. It is just wonderful. I'm really enjoying this, and got a bit of a zing in my step now, which is great. In fact, I've got to be honest with you, I think this is probably my one of the preferred pieces of the walk today. So there you go figure. So yeah, that last stretch, while it might seem onerous and obviously, you know, we've expended a bit of energy to get here today, this is just a great experience here. Look at that. Compliments to the Spanish people for either putting this path in or at least ensuring that there is something available for walkers like us. These are great facilities, and this is excellent. Obviously, because there's a lot of walkers through here, the path is nicely cleared. I mean, obviously the treading feet keep it nice and tidy, but as I say, the quality is excellent. You can make very good time on this track. Just throw off to the side. Wonderful rock outcrops on that mountain there. My beautiful path did give way to essentially walking along the road, but off the road, which was fine, right? It's a very quiet road. In fact, you can see now the path up to Monestario runs between that major freeway there off to the right and the actual road to Monestario. So you're sort of walking in the middle for a while, and then you pull off, and there's Monestario in the distance there. So it's a sight for sore eyes. Gee, there's a bit of a push to get into town there, a bit of an incline. Sweating like a pig at the moment, but I think we're there, and it'll all calm down. But yeah, nice to be here, and a good walk. And as I say, the start of this last leg was simply stunning. So anyway, probably got another, what's that, about 10 minutes away there to get into town there. Okay. Well, that was a decent day's walk. I think I arrived in Monestario at about 3:15. Final stretch of the walk was pleasant to start with, and then so-so. But look, overall, you know, a pretty good day. Fairly long day. We've got some shorter days ahead. I feel okay. It's Saturday today, Saturday evening. Unfortunately, there's not a great deal that's open. This is the Iglesia you can see behind me. Tomorrow we're off to Fuente de Cantos. It's pretty short. I think it's only about 22 k's. So hopefully, you know, maybe head out in daylight hours, and and get that done by lunchtime. But yeah. Look, overall, a good day's walk. I think obviously that that first pass that we went over, that does take it out of you, considering you've still got some 25 kilometres to walk. But that's the territory, and that's what you get when you're on the Camino or the Via de la Plata. So I'm being drowned out by the bell tower here. It's just turned 7 o'clock here at the moment. And yeah, I think I'll sleep well tonight.